Closing bell, 1:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9/27/2010. SMF Street Traders, we're going to go over our ETFs, bear and bull. And TYH is matched to the TYP. The SSO is matched to the SDS. One is a short and one is a long. And basically, we're going to take a look at the various different ones. The TLT is with the TBT down here. And basically, the DIG pairs up with the DUG here. And this is how they pair up. And one of the things that the MMTs really learn how to do when they're using their SMF MMT trading platform that SMF owns and operates for them is it gives them the privilege to get very well balanced long and short. So basically you got a bull fund up here that hit a high of 34.96. That was the high. However, the closing price was 34.13. And basically the opposite counterpart to the bear is that the bear ended up at 33.68. And basically you'll be able to see that in the SMF platform, it's going to tell you how well balanced the market is by the directional movements of these pair patterns right here. SMF, MMTs, a bull and a bear. Now, let's go to the ProShares Ultra 500 and let's go to the Ultra Short 500. The SSO went up and hit 39.97. Fades into the close at 39.48. Its counterpart ended up doing this. Let's see what it did. SDS 29.15 was the low. The high was 29.58. Very narrow range. Okay, so basically outside of the dollar price movement being narrower, what it does tell you though, it tells you where your other sectors are and what's going on. So basically one of the things that we do want to touch is that oil hasn't done much of anything. And basically there's a bull right here. There's a bull right here, oil and gas. Look at these. And then here's a bear. Okay? Basically, the price action is narrower, but what we look at is where is the spread of this oil market right now. So we know how to look at that because I train you specifically on understanding. Here is the bond. And I want to highlight the fact that the 20-year has moved up $1.80 with $60 million money flow on 7 million shares. That's a nice long position. It had been up at the highs and we have covered it, but the thing that MMTs need to know, it means that people are going back in there again instead of equities, because you don't want to see them buying this. You want to see what they're doing in the other broader markets. So basically that went up in value. The other side of that, the TBT, the bear side, well, the bear side of this went down $1.07 in value on 11.3 million shares. The high was 31.92, and look at that low. It was 31.32. You have a cross off on the bid and ask and after hours at 54 by 60 pennies right now. So that bull went higher and this bear went lower. And what it does, it just kind of tells you what's going on in that area of the markets. I just want people to know and MMTs to know that these ratios, and we have several more. Oh yes, I just can't fit any more than this on the screen. And the thing about it is that these are pair trades, and this needs to be written down. Now that they have the MMT video, this is how the bear and the bull closed on the day with all of the ETFs. So basically, the bear, we're going to find out by looking at the trends, and we've been pointing those out. So the trends is where price is failing and where price is getting made. So on the upper end, it's where price fails and gets short. And on the bottom end where price is made, you get long this one and you short that one. And not to mention on the SSQ here, that TQQ and this SQQQ, this is nice. You can trade the calls and the puts, calls and puts in here. We have all kinds of strike prices and things that we've set up. See, it's your put to call ratio here along with these indexes. Here's the SSQ. There's calls and there's puts to trade along with this. Just as here on the TQQQs, you've got calls and puts that can be traded here along with the movement. And that goes with all of them that are linked and tied into the options movement. So when these things make their moves, well, you can start balancing this side of the trade along with the two. Okay? And you can literally buy in, and so buying into that strength off the bottom, that ended up there. So basically, that's what we're going to be looking at. I want you to focus, though, what's going on in this oil and gas, DIG, DUG. Okay? And keep a tight eye on that because it's a good gauge of what's going to be going on and what is also forward-looking. A lot of this is forward-looking when we get down to the bottom of dissecting it and then matching it up with its sectors and indexes and various other things that may be linked to or tied to, you see. And what kind of price action are you going to get by being very well balanced in your risk, long and short, with the marketplace? So, you know, you can short these. If you shorted at 113.82, you just made over, well, you made $2 and some change. And at the same time, if you went long here, when the bottom was made here, you would go long. Back to the most key important thing again is that this pair right here, watching it intraday, is going to let you know exactly how the market is thromboning. And basically, we have all of that in our actual trading platform right here. And basically, we have everything that's covered in the system here, behind here naturally in all the charts. That's the SMF trading platform. We own it. It's ours, and it's used for MMTs only. And those are the people that get to use it. The thing that I want people to know here is that I wanted to really let you know one more time, money's going back in here. And basically, when we've been looking at the S&P 500, we've been looking at that VIX and that VXN. And over the weekend, we did a lot of extensive work right here on the S&P 500 index put options. And we have priced them all out accordingly. And basically, it is all the put sides and the call side and how to manage these trades. A good way of knowing how to enter these options here using the calls and the puts, that SMF has an options platform, and it basically gives us the wholesale bid in these contracts, just as, you know, we're wholesale to the market and then selling back to the public and people who want it. So that's how we make the money on these scenarios here. It's very important to be watching the SDS and SSO related to these contracts. Another thing that I want people to know is that the tech sector is that we're getting down into key levels where trends can change. When we shorted August, we hit the bottom of that August trend. It didn't want to go lower, so we came out of all the shorts. Started buying the call side because it was deflated, extremely deflated in August. Now, the call side is extremely inflated in the month of September. So basically, we're watching this one here. It's very important once again. and understanding where that tech sector is, that NASDAQ 100 that ties into this. The other side of when a bull works, when a bear works, is that the VXN, the fear indicator in the VXN, and the NASDAQ 100 is selling off. This is going to make a move. The bear does. Now, just vice versa. When that technology group and all of those other things are kicking, then we've gotten a great move when we started buying this down there at around $25. It's made a great move in the month of September. So basically adjusting the valuation of deflated pricing mechanism controls and selling the inflated pricing mechanism controls on that top end, and then you're getting paid, and somewhere in the middle you have to cash in both. However, MMTs, you get paid twice, which makes your MMT paycheck considerably higher than the public sector, and it makes it higher than most people who are engaging in the action price print at that specific time during the day. And you're able to capitalize by being ahead of everyone else, and everything that's in your system gives you the exact and appropriate dollar cost risk management skills that you can apply all day, day in and day out. And we have 5 level, that's 5 days. We have 5-day patterns. We also have 10 and 20-day patterns. And they're all relative to pricing control and directional movement. Once again, we're going to be watching these very carefully. And in pre-market in the morning, MMTs, we'll be talking about that futures market. We're going to be talking about when a bear is put in at a bottom, that means that the upper side movement intraday in the bigger equity names are going to sell off on the high. Okay? So basically, it's a well-balanced bear and bull directional movement intraday, MMTs. Once again, it's been a pleasure to bring to you this segment of the ETF section. We will be covering different pairs each day. Once again, we'll be adding them to your platform as well.